So today is Saturday. And I know we've talked about it before, but it's always good to go over things again. Saturday is, or was, a day where the church, the early church, got together and they fasted for the whole day. Now, in the Jewish culture, it was actually from Friday night until Sunday morning. It was a fast for that long. They would start at sunset on Friday, and then they would eat again sunrise Sunday, which is where breakfast actually got its name from, was breaking the fast. But in today's day and age, and the amount of selfishness that has been allowed into the church, fasting has kind of gone out the window. And not the crazy part of it, but fasting is one of the three things that we know are guaranteed to help us die to our flesh: giving, praying, and fasting. And in that order for that reason. Giving first, because physical stuff has got to go. We don't need it in our lives. It's a distraction. John talks about it. Those who love the world and the things in the world, the things. So it might not necessarily be politics or how the world works and whatnot. It could just be things. Could be one thing that could stop you from going to the kingdom of heaven. If you put that first and you love that thing, you won't make it. And then, secondly, being praying. Obviously, praying makes us die to our flesh, because our flesh wants nothing to do with God. Because God, and living a life worthy of what He's called us to live, is not anywhere close to what the flesh likes. See, God has called us to live the life of selfless sacrifice, presenting our lives as a living sacrifice. Romans 12. But the flesh wants to do things the flesh's way. It doesn't want to get out of its comfort zone. It doesn't want to do things that aren't comfortable and it doesn't like. Even though those things are killing us and dragging us to hell, even from not a Christian point of view, if you look at selfishness, look at the way that the world is today. Take a look at obesity here in America. It's a plague. It really is. Over half of America is well overweight. And what is the reason for that? Selfishness, greed. The original words, or the original greed, was food. There was nothing, there was no money, there was no things. The things was food. The person that had the most food was the person that was considered to have the most wealth. So now, instead of people eating properly and eating the right way, our selfishness wants us to eat things that taste good, things that satisfy our selfishness: candy bars, cookies, cakes. Even from an industrial point of view, snacks is one of the biggest industries that exists today. It is huge. Why? Because people don't eat meals anymore. It's proven. People do not eat meals, and the meals that they eat are vast majority of the time fast food or out at a restaurant. It is not a home-cooked meal. So snacks is a huge industry because that's all that people do is snack all day. Not even thinking about or caring about what they're putting in their mouths and into their bodies. And now look at the state of this world. As I said, half of America is well overweight. There's so many diseases and sicknesses out there, which I'm very willing to venture and say has to do with the food that we are eating. Because all the stuff that they're putting in, like, for example, China, you can look it up. There's videos of it. They have fake eggs, completely man-made eggs. You can look it up. It's made out of plastic. And that's not what God designed us to eat. God designed us to eat healthily, eat good foods. He created fruits and vegetables. He gave us meat, things that are good for our bodies. And we, in our selfishness, created things that taste good, sugar. Yeah, that was a study, not really a study, but in early-ish America, like when we were starting to move out towards the West and whatnot, the average amount of sugar that the American would consume in a year was about 2 pounds. About 2 pounds of sugar in a year. Today, pretty much 2 pounds of sugar is consumed in less than a week. That's just the craziness of our selfishness and what it has done to our lives, and how we could just see that little part where selfishness runs rampant. Because why would I want to eat vegetables and fruits when I could have a candy bar? Candy bars taste really good. They're not good for me, but they taste really good. Or why would I have, fruits and vegetables when I could have a double Whopper? Those are really good. It tastes super good. Not super healthy for you, but it tastes good. And that's the part you can see right there, how greed and selfishness taken over the everyday lives of Americans, of the world, in not just America, the world, taking it over. And that now is the important part of us as Christians being able to fast, have a control over our selfishness and saying, God, you are more important to me than food. Why? Because food is something that we need to survive, to function. Without food, we can last, now it's probably much, much more because of how much excess weight many of us carry around. But about 30 days was about the time span that a normal human could survive before it would start acting negatively and start eating away at the organs and whatnot. But what's more important, even Jesus said when he was asked, my food is to be about the work of my Father. Is our food to be about the work of our fathers? Now, Saturday is not the only day that we're supposed to fast. It's supposed to be a daily thing, a lifestyle in terms of giving up on the things that we need for the thing that we really need, which is to be closer to God. And again, in how do we get there? In the order: giving up things, praying, because it grows our faith and gets us closer to God, that we could hear His voice better. And if we can't hear His voice, it gets us so that we can hear His voice, that we could know what His will is and do what He's called us to do by hearing in His direction. And then fasting, giving up on our very necessity of life, because He's that much more important. Now, fasting doesn't have to be a big, crazy fast. It could be little things to start off. Give up dessert. Give up that second plate. Make your plate smaller. Give up on, have half of what you were going to eat. Ideally, you want to give up entirely, but for some people, you can't. And you don't want to push yourself to the point, because there's no good in, this is what I mean by pushing your flesh. There's no good in fasting a little bit and then going and eating more than enough to make up for the meal that you fasted. Because the goal is not, oh, look, I skipped a meal. That's not the goal. The goal is not skipping the meal, but in place of the meal, what are you doing for the kingdom? With that time, who are you blessing? Whose life are you making better? Or if you buy lunch or food or whatever, what are you doing with that money to bless and make somebody's life better? See, God is not about giving up on things. It's about what are you replacing your selfishness with. It's not about, oh, I did a good job, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not doing that anymore. Again, what are you doing in place of the things that you no longer do? So with our time fasting, what are we doing? With the money that we could have used towards the food, what are we doing? Are we being a blessing, or are we just sitting and being satisfied with, oh, I made a sacrifice? Because it's not good enough to just make a sacrifice. So, life, we make sacrifices all the time. Vast majority of the time it's for our flesh, though. Now, for the Spirit, what is that sacrifice for? Are we spending that time in prayer, focused? That would be able to hear clearly the voice of God? And there's a million things you could do. But what are you doing with it? Fasting. It's a lost thing in the church today. And it's something that we're supposed to do on the daily. So let's not forget it. But be reminded of it and fast. Try to fast every day. Skip something. Take something away. And most importantly, above fasting, as it comes first, let's make sure that we're praying, specifically for each other. With the time that we spend fasting, use it to bless your brother or sister. Because the other thing that is greatly missing is our love for the brothers. There is no more being a blessing to each other. And it needs to be. Because God has called us together. We're all His children. We're all one. We're a family. We need to start treating each other that way. Anyway, be blessed. I love you all. Don't forget to fast today. And don't forget to pray for each other. Because none of us could not use a little extra grace. So be blessed in this day. Amen.
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 Bless you.